Hey guys, and welcome back to MTK series. I hope you guys are having a lovely week. I saw this traditional marriage picture between a 56-year-old man from Ozubulu and a 16-year-old girl from Ihiala, both from Anambra State in Nigeria, and I decided to share it here. But I know most of you must have been conversant with this story because the wedding happened on 28th of January. But the interesting story is that the girl has been rescued by Behind Bars Rights Foundation human rights group and since handed over to Anambra State Commissioner for Ministry of Women Affairs and Children. If you're a returning subscriber, thank you for your support. It's good to see you again. If you're new to this channel, kindly consider subscribing if you like what I'm doing here. So before I go into this video, I would like to say that this video is based on my personal opinion, observation and critical analysis of cultural and social issues in our society. So I would like people to leave me comments in case there are some things I didn't say well, but I would like people who understand Igbo culture to do that, and please try and be polite as possible because if you leave a nasty comment, I'm gonna delete it. It doesn't take anything to delete a comment. Now let's get into this video. It's all about a 16-year-old girl who gave birth to a baby at home without being married, and the baby is 6 months old. So the parents decided to give her hands in marriage to this man, a 56-year-old man whom the report is claiming to be mentally unstable and a drunkard, but comes from a wealthy home. And there are other sources saying that the family of the man arranged the marriage to help him build a home. Yeah, I can actually relate to this story because I grew up in Igbo land and I know that male children are valued over female children, just like in other tribes in Nigeria, if I'm not mistaken, and generally across African continent. According to the customs and tradition, it is the man that marries a woman into the family, therefore keeping the name of the family, and the woman marries out of the family. And this is the reason why you keep hearing some sayings like "nwoke danger," which literally means that a man is not ugly, so no matter how a man looks, he must surely see a woman to marry. And there are other sayings that says that "ozunwanyi na kamwana menata," that it is good for a woman to get married. Therefore, in some places in Igbo land, it is frowned upon when a woman gives birth to a baby at home without being married. Igbo people respect family structure a lot. And in some families, they marry the girl out while pregnant so that she doesn't give birth to the baby at home. Because once the bride price is paid, that means the man has traditionally married the lady and the marriage is binding. The baby now belongs to the man. And I'm back to this story. So when the amateur footage of a traditional marriage of the couple surfaced online, a human rights activist group known as Behind Bars Rights Foundation under the leadership of Mr. Harrison Wamnishu went all out to confirm the story. When they found out that the marriage actually happened, they decided to rescue the girl because Child Rights Act of 2003 sets the age of marriage at 18 years old. However, only 23 states out of 36 states in Nigeria have adopted this act. So this is clearly a case of a child marriage. According to Daily Post newspaper, the human rights activist group petitioned the police, and this made the girl to be released, and right now she has been handed over to Anambra State Commissioner for Ministry of Women Affairs and Children. Thank you for your good job, and I would also like it more if there's a way the girl can be financially empowered. And from the comment I read on this post, some people are making it look like child marriage is peculiar to Southeast, but I beg to differ because this kind of marriage happened somewhere last year in Niger State, and that was a case of a 70-year-old emir who got married to a 15-year-old girl in Niger State, Nigeria. According to the statistics, 43% of girls are married off before their 18th birthday, and 17% are married before they turn 15. And the prevalence of child marriage varies widely from one region to another in Nigeria, as high as 76% in the Northwest region and as low as 10% in Southeast region. The common drivers of child marriage in Nigeria include poverty, poor educational attainment, strong social and religious tradition. So let's not pretend as if this does not happen in other parts of Nigeria. So people shouldn't be making derogatory statements against one tribe on Facebook or on YouTube, saying all manner of things, because deep down in your heart, you know that in your traditions, such a thing happens all the time, but you choose not to talk about it because you believe this one is already all over social media. You think you can come up to say whatever you like about a tribe. That has to stop, okay? And it is highly unacceptable. I encourage all Nigerian youth to be objective in their thinking and find a way to hold government accountable. Like I said previously, Child Rights Act was passed in 2003, and some states have adopted it, like 23 out of 36 states in Nigeria. I don't know what is happening to the remaining 13 states, and most of those 13 states are located up north. That's the reason why some of the things that is being done in some regions are not practiced in another region, and yet it's the same country. However, it should be noted that the Nigerian constitution does not establish any minimum age of marriage. It is only in Child Rights Act that minimum age of marriage is set as 18. So we need to push for it to make sure that this Child Rights Act is adopted in all the states in Nigeria so that one can be liable when he or she goes against it. I'm a lover of culture. I love my culture so much, but I still believe that any culture that is against human rights should be abolished. And again, culture shouldn't be an excuse for oppressing women. Most often we are quick to say, oh, it's a tradition, oh, it's a tradition. Yeah, I know it's a tradition, but it's not cast on stone. It's somebody that made tradition. We have to ask ourselves, who are the people who are benefiting from this tradition? If it's offending some people, if it's trampling on people's human rights, then why not abolish those ones that are not good and are offensive to some group? At this stage, I can't believe that because a young girl is still living with the parents and it was unfortunate that she became pregnant, that means her life should end. She had to marry anybody that comes seeking for her hand in marriage. She has to be forced to marry even the man that they know that is not good for her. This is one of the reasons why abortion is on the increase, because everybody wants to be seen as not have got a baby before marriage or to have known a man before marriage. You want to be seen as Santa Nwebe. You can call me whatever you want, but I still prefer a lady who gives birth to her baby when she's pregnant to that one that commits abortion. Because the complication that comes with abortion is very enormous. That one is a story for another day. Yeah, actually, I understand that it can be as a result of poverty, and this is the reason why it pains my heart that the politicians in Nigeria, instead of them to rehabilitate the schools and make the school to be free from primary to secondary school, so that any child will have access to education free, they are there embezzling the money and sending their children abroad to school, using our commonwealth for their own private purpose. We're talking about these two because these are the ones that surfaced on social media. There are lots of other underage children being married out daily in Nigeria simply because the parents are ignorant or as a result of poverty. But you can never take this route to come out of poverty because even me, as I'm looking at these two pictures on the screen, I'm seeing perpetual poverty. These two men can never give these girls good education. The only thing they can do for them is to feed them and then start having children. At the end of the day, they might end up being sex slaves to the other members of the family or even the community members because when they get more matured, they might end up finding these two men unattractive and uninteresting, and they will end up going out for other men, maybe their age. I don't have problem with big age difference in marriage, so long as you are the one taking that decision. You are doing that out of your consent, and you'll be able to be responsible for anything that comes out of it. I'm very fine with it. That's your choice. But when it's an underage marriage and the parents are choosing a spouse for their daughter, it makes me cringe. Because at the end of the day, the girl is not empowered. They didn't go to school. She can't even contribute to the family. She is there to be a maid or a carer to the other members of the family, and they're going to treat her the way they want. I also have problem with the matchmakers, people arranging this marriage. You know very well that your family member is not okay, the person is mentally deranged, or the person is bedridden, and yet you're going to another family because they're poor. You encourage them to allow their daughter marry your brother because you feel you people are rich, claiming your family has a lot of plot of land because you know this is the only way to deceive them, knowing fully well that these are villagers and they're very naive in their thinking. You are born again Christian. Let your conscience judge you. Let God judge you. Is it right? Is it fair? To this little girl you're putting in this miserable life. So many states, they don't want to adopt and implement Child Rights Act because they know that there are so many laws there that will give the children rights to be able to challenge their parents. So people are scared that at the end of the day, if the child rights get to be passed, the children will not be able to respect them the way they want. But I don't think so. I think they will also respect you, but you as a parent, you need to respect yourself. So let's find a way to make our children have a voice, to be able to save our children and also protect them because there are so many atrocities against children in the country today. You don't really have much to do or say, most especially when the penalty is not enshrined in the Constitution, thereby making these children to be very vulnerable. Parents should stop seeing marriage as a meal ticket. I think it's better before a girl child gets into marriage, let her learn a trade or better still a handwork such as hairdressing, sewing or even tailoring so that she'll be able to contribute to her immediate family and also participate actively. Make it a point of duty for your children to acquire new skills because you don't know where they're going to use it, how it's going to help them, how you can save their life. Gone are the days when a woman relies on a man for everything, for all the provision in the family. Otherwise, there are so many things in the family that can never be get done because the man is not a superhuman. He has the job he's doing that can go to a particular extent in feeding the family and solving some problems, but not all. But if the wife works, Two of them can put the resources together and move the family forward. Having said that, I would like you to know that when women move forward, the world moves with them. Okay guys, so I'm gonna sign off here. Stay healthy and safe, and see you in my next video. Remember to share this video with family and friends. Let's keep the conversation on. Leave your comments below politely. Don't forget to subscribe if you've not done already.